All right. So, secret number two. What are we talking about here? 50,000 new drug resistant epileptics. That's what it is every year, just in the United States. 50,000 plus new drug resistant epileptics that need to go get a PlayStation so that they can kill brain fog and seizure hell instead of using Netflix. And you're like, wait, what? I don't understand. You said the secret to epilepsy is playing video games. Yes and no, but it's definitely not sitting there passively letting life pass you by. Netflix is good distraction, and sometimes you can be a little educated about it. But all in all, let's admit it, there's very little value to it when you're trying to make your life better. It's straight up a distraction. So if you have photosensitive seizures, it's even worse. You're distracting yourself with something that's hurting you. So I'm guilty of that, honestly, because you want a distraction. You're in pain. If there's nobody around talking to you, it sucks. And it gets frustrating, and you're trapped in your head. You're trapped on the floor. You're trapped in your bed, wherever it is that you're going through, because we're all a little different, and we all find ourselves in different places. When I was meditating, I'd find myself walking in circles, like off in the kitchen. I'd come back to like not realizing what was going on. I'd be walking in circles. It's scary when you start realizing you can be somewhere else. But what really helped me on that was finding something to help retrain my brain so that the neurons were able to grow new pathways. Because after my stroke, I had some brain damage and I lost the ability to do stuff. Talking is still difficult, but I've been studying talking for a while. So as you can see, it's a little easier to understand me right now. I'm not slurring, I'm not doing a double speak, but this has taken some work. Over the last 6 months, I've specifically been working on learning how to talk better to people, where before I was more into the whole hand-eye coordination to ensure that I could just function without dropping things, because you get really clumsy having seizures all the time, really uncoordinated. And honestly, the way to overcome this is by increasing the ability of your brain to function by challenging it in ways that don't give you seizures or that you're able to recover quickly. But you don't want to sit there playing a video game all day. That's all I'm trying to say to you is I know people that will sit there, they'll have a seizure, get back up, play the game, have a seizure, get back up, play the game, get back up, play the seizure, have a game. That is not a life. That is never, ever going to get you well, and you're never going to feel better because all you're doing is the same thing that's giving you a seizure over and over and over. So what you do is you take breaks. You need to stop before you have a seizure, or if you do have a seizure, you're done for the day or week or whatever. Sometimes it took me weeks and months to be able to do something again. Sometimes 6 months before I felt comfortable going back outside and driving. Definitely do not want to be doing a whole lot of driving. So if you can't do driving on video games, you probably shouldn't be driving in real life either, because there's an awful lot more going on in real life driving than there is video game driving. So video games are a good way to test what you can and can't do. So I had to avoid first person shooters and stick with third person shooters occasionally. Oftentimes it was too much because there's a lot of reading going on, a lot of flashing bright stuff. So I also did strategy games, puzzles, things to kind of challenge my brain so that I was able to have to think and stop and try to create new neural pathways so that my brain gets stronger and healthier. Is honestly, this is brain health. This is how you take care of yourself as you find things that increase, like I said, your hand-eye coordination, your ability to reason, your ability to solve puzzles, your ability to have conversations and do things and move around. And this is honestly a great way to do it, is to make sure that you find different apps or games or things that are out there that are suited to you, and make sure you're just not overdoing it, because it's really easy to overdo it. So you need to find balance in all of this. You need to make sure, you guys can breathe, you guys know how to eat, I mean, you know how to be you, I hope. I mean, you've been you for as long as you've been you. I've been me for as long as I've been me. I know me pretty good. I hope somewhere along the ways you've figured out who you are, or if you haven't yet, you want to, and you're going to figure out who you are and become the best version of yourself, because now's the time to stop doing all the things that got you sick, that make you sick, and keep you sick. Because you're not sick, you're disabled at this point, which is okay. There's nothing wrong with that. You're just an epileptic, and it sucks until you figure out what's going on. And it really sucked for me until I finally figured it out. And I've been able to do it in a bunch of places. And I figure if I can do it in a bunch of places, you can too. I mean, I went to Mexico. I was helping my best friend with her dying mom. I didn't speak Spanish, but like I still went down there and I'm driving across the border back and forth to do food and groceries and all the different supplies and stuff that we couldn't get like in Mexico. So clearly I found a way to overcome what was going on with me. And at the same time, I came up to Santa Barbara where I am now, and I'm helping to take care of a 98-year-old man, because he needs some care, and I kind of brought him back to life. He was in a situation where he needed somebody to address what was going on, what was wrong with people and everything going on in his life, and he's happy, he's healthy, and because I was able to overcome the problems that existed here and address them, I've learned more ways to cope with more problems. So it just reinforces the whole process that you can use this same method to start going through changes and becoming a better version of yourself. So there's always a method, there's always a process, there's always a shortcut. Just like when you're trying to play the video games, like you can find shortcuts and tricks that help you score better, that help you do better in life, that help you move along and enjoy yourself. Because what else do we want more than to enjoy what we're doing, right? I mean, who wants to sit around being miserable all the time? It sucks. It sucks being miserable, and I'm sorry that you're in hell. Sorry that this is going through to you. This is never gonna be fair. This is never gonna be cool. But you have to understand that in the process of when things happen to you, they're really happening for you in a way that you will never understand until you understand. The same way that no one will understand a seizure until you understand a seizure. Because seizure hell is seizure hell. But what you can do is understand that you have the ability to survive. You survived every day in your life up to this point. Just imagine how much more better it would be for you if you knew exactly what to do to feel good or to feel better and have less seizures. Come down to no seizures if you can figure out exactly what it is and address what your problems are. One of my problems is light. So when I'm trying to talk to people and I've got all this light going on, I have a hard time. So I'm working on being on the computer. I'm working on doing ways to communicate with everybody. So I know as I'm learning new skills to be able to do these things, you can learn new skills too. Because I'm no better than anybody else. I'm an epileptic. I have brain damage. I'm retarded as anybody else that's got brain damage. But I managed to be able to take care of myself with systems that I've been using for decades that aren't something that's new, that I've been using for thousands of years. And seriously, if I can bring myself back from brain damage, from a seizure, or from a stroke, or from all these other problems in my life, you can too. And I guarantee you, it's a whole lot better when you realize that you are so much more powerful than you believe. And this whole process